Hey everybody, it's Matt from Armchair Handicapping, and welcome back to episode 4 of Press the Pace. Today we're going to be looking at a few races from the Tuesday lineup, as well as one race from the Churchill Down Wednesday card. So let's dive on into it. First race we're going to be looking at is the 9th race at Parx. It's an optional claimer, 35,000, 7 furlongs on the dirt. It gets a race level of 36.7, which looking at the field, um, everybody's well over that with their performance level. So I'm expecting a pretty competitive race here. We see the number one chalk morning line gets the A1 rating with a 2.4. However, the 6 with a 5-2 morning line gets a 2.9 with the A2 designation. So that's something I'm going to be looking into with that 6 in this race. Jumping over to performance level, race level ratings, like I was just talking about, the 1 and the 6 are more standouts here. The 1 gets a 61 over a 53, which is pretty significant, as well as the 6 with a 54 over a 48. The one thing that stands out to me with the 6 is this workout rating of a 10.1 compared to the 1s with an 8.7. This could be just a difference in class level, but it is something definitely to look at, especially with the pace line of that 6 being well over the late pace par. The 1, however, as you can see, stands out for first and second sectors of this pace line. So the 1 and the 6 here in this race are definitely going to be the most competitive. You can tell by the velocity lines as well. They're almost on top of each other coming into the last sector. So the 6 is the horse that I'm going to be eyeing in this one to pull an upset. It will need a pretty big run. It'll need to stick near the lead pack, especially with this 1 controlling the pace early on and conserving gas. So this 1 is going to be up there. The 6 is going to be up there. And I think if I had to pick a third horse to be up there as well, it'd be that 4. So I'm going 6, 1, 4 in this race. Jump into the next race. It's Zaya Park, race 8. It's a claiming 20,000, 6 furlong on the dirt. Looking at the race level for today, gets a 46, which compared to the field, it's another competitive race with a few moving up in class quite significantly, in my opinion. However, big standout to me is this 9 with a 1.6 and an A1 designation. That's a pretty significant gap between a 1.6 and the A2 with a 3.4. So definitely something to take interest in there. Looking over at the graphs for the 9, you can see it's kind of in line with the pars for today, which is that green dash line. However, the significant gap here between the rest of the field and the 9 and the 1, that's a big gap for me in the pace graph. Looking over at the velocity graph as well, the 9 just gets some more validation with the top of the line chart over here. So yeah, the 9 here, I think would be either a best bet for me or pace play. I still haven't decided on the 1. I need to look at the rest of the card, to be honest, a little bit more. But yeah, I'm eyeing this 9 in race 8 for sure. Jumping into the last race for Tuesday's lineup is the 7th race at Indiana. It's an allowance 45,000, 6 furlong on the dirt. Looking at the race level, gets a 71. Again, another very competitive field. Some dropping in class, some moving up in class. So this is going to be a tough race, but I do like the standouts. The 8 and the 3 gets the A1 designation with a 1.9, and actually the 3 has a 1.9 as well, but gets the A2 designation based on some other criteria. However, looking at the graphs down below, that 3 is on top on both sides. Immediate standout to me. And then looking up at the graphs at the top as well, you've got the performance level of a 91 over a 77. And I mean, that is pretty massive delta, to be honest. Compared to the rest of the field, you do have the 94 over the 102, but that's a significant negative delta, which is not good in my opinion. So this 3 is a major standout to me. And looking at the other chalk cores, the 60 over 57, it's not great. It is good. But I think this 91 over 77 is going to be a little bit more standout, as well as the 3 gets a solid rank 1 in the pace category, which, I mean, just you can confirm that just looking at these graphs. And like the race from Parx, I believe that workout rating of a 10.1 is solid compared to the 8s, which, I mean, it's a 9.9 minor delta, but anything over 10 to me is pretty significant. So something to keep an eye on. Last race we're going to be looking at, just a little bonus race for Churchill's Wednesday card. It's the 8th race, optional claimer, 125,000, 9 furlongs on the turf. And I hope we stay on the turf. Looking at the field real quick and the race levels and performance levels. Race level today is a 45, another very competitive race. You've got the 2, which is a standout at 111 over 110. But you've got the 1, which has a nice delta of 86 over a 77, 42 over a 35. It's a good delta, a little lower in class, and you can tell that by moving up versus the drops here. So let's look at this 1 and this 2. Looking down at the graphs, you can see the 1 and 2 kind of fall in line with each other on pace, as well as falling in line with the pars. That's something to keep an eye on, especially when you have a pretty volatile graph like this for the pace graph, and then something like this that looks like spaghetti for the velocity. So one thing to note is when you do have graphs that are pretty volatile like this, yes, they're still very useful. However, you do need to rely on this data up here a little bit more. And for that reason, I'm taking the 2 in this one, mainly because looking at the pace press, I think it's going to be a pretty quick race, even with a 9 furlong on the turf. I think the run to first call and second goal is going to be pretty quick, which hopefully should give the 1 and the 2 something to run off of. And I like the 2 mainly because of the better velocity figures than the 1. So yeah, I'm eyeing this 2 over the 1. The 6 will also be pretty competitive, but I don't think it will be as classy as the 1 or 2 in this race. So keep an eye on the 2, keep an eye on the 6, keep an eye on the 1, but I'm all go on the 2 here in this 8th race. All right, and those are the 4 races we looked at today. I'm going to be making those charts free on my site, so be sure to go download those when you watch this video. That way you can follow along. I tried to keep following along on my screen as best as I could with some screen resolution issues I've been having. So like I said, download those before you watch the video. That way you can follow along on paper and pen and take any notes. And please, if you all have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. My site will be down in the description. There's a contact forum on the site. Only way that these charts can improve is through feedback, questions, comments, constructive criticism. I mean, I am open to any and all feedback. So please let me know how these charts are working for you, and if you see any room for improvement, stuff like that. So thank you all, and good luck. Hope you all follow along, and let me know how you do.